Hello everybody, this is Alex Spence, self-realised renunciant monk in the middle of nowhere. You know how it is. Spread your arms to the side, give us a hug. Right, okay, so today I wanted to talk about meditation. This is something, just let me center myself. there we go. This is someone actually commented and asked for some meditation tips. So I'm going to sort of like give it a go. I'm just going to sort of like pass on sort of things that have helped me, and sort of like the different sides of meditation and how sort of like the good, the bad and the ugly of it. And I think from my advice would be to adopt some kind of meditation practice. And I always promote it because I just think it's really important to be comfortable. I think it's good to get to a stage where you're comfortable just sitting and being you. Because I think I've wrote about this. I wrote a note about this, about how thinking is like humans' biggest addiction. And it is. It's just, I find it almost one of humans' tragedies that it's for people to be alone with themselves can be a daunting prospect. But on the other hand, I also completely understand. I completely get it, because I've been in a situation where my mind has been off the wall, anxiety, attention deficit, and it's just everything, just a mind out of control. It was just, I can't even encompass the symbolism of that. But when you start to meditate, it can, one of the sort of like the annoyances of it is that you expect to relax from it. You expect it to be a relaxation process, and you know it's supposed to be at one and all this, but it can be far from it, and it can be very frustrating. And I remember being frustrated for a good few years. So it would be good if I could help people cut that down a little bit. It'd be really good, you know. So there's nothing, we don't want to be frustrated. We don't want that to add to our feelings of awakening and everything. You know, we've got all these emotions going on anyway, and all this stuff that's around us and internally and externally. The last thing we need is to be frustrated about stuff. So, and I think for me personally, I think my biggest leap was when I started to really embrace self-love. That was because I wrote a note about this as well. Everything I'm sort of writing about and filming about is sort of building on top of each other. If you've sort of noticed a pattern, this is, believe it or not, it's not random. This is just, you know, I'm building things up. And like my biggest leap really when it came to being frustrated was when I started adopting more self-love. When I started being, my internal dialogue was loving towards me. And I was more loving with the words I spoke. More importantly, internally. Because you'll find your internal dialogue is always expressed more often than not when it comes out. And it's when I started adopting to be more sort of loving and forgiving, all inwardly, that I really started to see some sort of leaps and bounds in my progress with meditation. The more I sort of let go of and became more productive with letting go of things that I'd carried around for however long it had been up to that point. It was the little bits here and there of sort of different bits of self-love that sort of like really accumulated on top of each other for it to really impact my meditation. Because if you have, like, just in my eyes, if you have like guilt, or you have loads of fear going on, you sort of, maybe you don't like yourself, you have these internal words being said to you that are coming up from consciousness itself, and you're believing them, it just adds to the phantasmagoria of mind. So it all came down to sort of like just loving me in my totality. And this is, I'm sort of saying this, I'm not saying this flippantly, and I'm not saying this is, it can be a really tough process. But that's where I'd really sort of like, that's where I'd look to start with. Really look at how you talk to yourself. And just what you associate more with. Because meditation all comes down to attention, of where you put your attention. And I've spoke about that before as well. And so let's talk about what happens when you do sit down. Let's just talk about that. I've spoke about sort of like the fundamentals of sort of like the deep side of what I'd look at. But let's just say you've just sat down and you're on a cushion and you just want to try meditation. Let's just try this. Feel free to try this now. You know, it's perfectly fine to shut your eyes, just relax. Keep your eyes open, it's totally fine. Remember, there's no right or wrong. But if you'd like to give this a go now, it's perfectly fine. But always with everything, just try and be. Just try and sit and be. Sort of focus on your whole body. Put your mind on your toes, your shins, your thighs, hips, your core, up to your shoulders, up to your mind, and just sort of scan your whole body. And just put your attention on your body. As soon as you've done that, you can do that a couple of times. Go from head to toe, toe to head, as slowly as you like. Just try and keep it slow. Don't rush it. Because that's definitely what we don't sort of want in meditation, is to sort of think I've got another goal to get from head to toe as quickly as possible. It's not what it's all about. Just allow it. Just allow your mind to ponder and meander you. As soon as you've done that a couple of times, just sort of bring it back to your breath. Take a deep breath in and then back out. And then sort of like try and bring it to maybe some sort of regulation by counting in for 4 and out for 4. And just try and focus on that, just repeat that. And this is sort of when it gets interesting, because you can focus on your breathing and then breathe in and then out, and then it's a case of sort of like, and then this is when sort of, if any thoughts arise, just sort of, if a thought arises, just bring your attention back to your breath. Try to sort of like, if a thought comes up, just sort of think, there we go, there's a thought, back to the breath. If anything sort of shocking comes up, which it will, because we've got our own beliefs, we've got our own everything rising from the surface potentially that has been stuffed to the back, and then we've got all of, like I've said before, all of humanity on our backs as well. When it comes to consciousness, not on our backs but in us and around us. So you've got all this coming up. It's not even you. It's just a process that happens. They come up, they come down like fish, like salmon out of the river. So all it comes down to is your association with it. And just keep that, and just keep that going. Just focus on your breathing, just everything sort of inwardly, just all like in for 4, out for 4. feels just how nice. How nice is that? It's all like I think my biggest love is to get to people to just get to a place where they're really comfortable being you. And you can even perform the self-love activity that I sort of wrote about the other day. You can hold your reflection in mind. Don't have to meditate in front of a mirror. Shut your eyes, reflect you in a mirror. Hold eye contact. Breathe in and just say, I love you. Internally. You don't even have to say it out loud. It's all about adopting and understanding the power of the thoughts that we have. It's always best to have that association with the positive thoughts, the ones that are sort of really brief and just loving. And have that tonality and different textures. That's what it's all about. It's what meditation and sort of like observing your thoughts is all about. It's all about where your attention goes, associating more with sort of like the loving part of you. Really soft things down, really sort of change your tonality, just sort of like really soft, make things soft and loving and very brief and just, all encompassing. But okay, so I think I'm done. How nice was that? It's nice and relaxing, just breathe, just give this a try. This is just a very sort of like outline of meditation, just ways that have helped me. But I hope you're having a fantastic day. This is Alex Spence, self-realised renunciate monk, once again coming at you from the heart of the English countryside. Hope we're well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are around the world. God bless and peace out, and I'll see you tomorrow.